I ain't got no problem answering first, man.
So
You
okay, so
know,
we back live again. So let me ask this question again so we can catch this live. Because I know we ain't got long, you know what I'm saying? The other one jumped off, so we're gonna jump the zone. I'm gonna play a song at the end and then we out. So my question is, why do y'all think young rappers are dying? Or, you know what I'm saying? They dying so young. What's going on with these young rappers? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw my little point out there and I'm gonna let y'all run with it. I watched the documentary the other day, man. And I became a fan of this young cat. And I mean, y'all might not be his fan, but I became a fan of this dude, man. Juice World. I really wasn't no Juice World fan. I really wasn't into it, you know what I'm saying? But I listened to his music.
I was watching it before we came on.
Hey, I sat there and I got a new perspective, man. I got a new perspective. First off, he's the young boy. He's the young boy KRS-One in that cat freestyle just crazy as a young cat. You know what I'm saying? He was just rapping stuff. Then what he did was, you got to go watch. I had to pull up some of his freestyles. He got this one freestyle he did overseas in Europe. And first he rapping off of like the young boy beats, and they put like a little more hip hoppy beat. He flew. He was going off on that. He was going off on that. So after that point, I got a deeper respect for him. However, I just understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand why somebody with that much talent. And I guess maybe look at Tupac, but it's on another level, man. You see the debauchery. Got to watch this doggone documentary. If Mark and they're watching it now, debauchery. That's the only word I can say to that. This young man is just doing all kind of crazy stuff. He's taking all kind of stuff, putting everything he think in his body. This cat drinking lean. They was like, now, you from Texas, right? You from Texas, right? You know about that lean, right? So this dude was want to drink 4 ounces. He want to put 4 ounces of lean inside a Sprite bottle, a Sprite can.
you gotta understand.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, these young cats don't have the intestinal fortitude to deal with struggles like we did because their struggles are different. So when we were used to dealing with disappointment because there was no cameras. So if we got into a fight and you lost and it went on. If these young cats get into a fight, it's out there forever and the embarrassment stings. When things happen to them, it doesn't go away. When things happen to us, it went away.
Yeah.
I mean that's just real talk. If you think about going live, like we going live now, and this conversation is on the internet forever
Mm-hmm.
and ever. When these people go through these struggles, good, bad, or indifferent, they're forever. And so you can't run from your problems. You can't run from it. And so how do they handle defeat? How do they handle adversity? How do they handle these things? And then, the same problems we had as young black men without having our fathers and blah blah and all this other stuff compounds the issue with that. It's hard on them. And they don't have the role models that we had, like the preachers in the neighborhood, even though we can have our opinion about them, but we had the community that they don't have. And that's just my 2 cents on that. But I think that's why they dying so fast because they can't the challenges they can't defeat the challenges that we were able to defeat.
Yo, I mean, I saw. I'm just gonna add the little dude Draco. I put a little post on Instagram, man. I was thinking about some of the stuff. Draco, the ruler, he's got stabbed, man. He had to get. He done made it. Where everybody here, well, at least us 3 MCs, want to make it to. He done made it. He's standing on stage with Snoop Dogg when he get in a fight and get stabbed. I mean, I just don't know. For me, I'm like, at a certain, I guess when you're a little older, man, you know what I'm saying? I'll have to remove myself. Snoop took off. Snoop left.
Okay, so my answer to this is okay. So first of all, the man, I want to put this in a very concise way. So the entry point into the culture is a lot lower and the entry point into becoming successful in the culture is a lot higher, right? Like to get in is a lot lower, meaning like before you had to like be good and shit, right? You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to be good to get in it and be accepted as far as being in it anymore. So that means more people can get in, right? And but to be successful, it's a lot higher because you need a lot of money in order. And they used to get that money from the record labels, like back in the day. You were dope, you got a deal, the labels paid for shit. You know what I mean? And this, then, the third. That's not really how it works anymore. They don't. They don't build artists anymore. Like you come to the table already like a known entity, whether it be in your city, your state, you know what I mean, the country or whatever. Your train is already kind of moving when you get there. Listen, man, for a single to work, for a song to work, it costs $250,000. Okay. For known artists, it costs $250,000. I don't know how much it costs for an unknown artist, right? But for a known artist, it's $250,000. The label QC, whenever they put out a song by Lil Baby, an artist we all know, it's $250,000 for them to work that record in order for that record to get the amount of exposure that it needs to have. And this is corporate money we talking about that they playing with nowadays. When these kids come in, they're coming in with street money and street ties. And so uh the reason why we're seeing so much more of it is because it's so much closer to the street. Again, the entry point into the culture is very low. So it's just more people involved in this shit, right? And if you know them, if I know them, that means an enormous amount of dope money was spent. A lot of people had to get stepped on in order for them to become what they become, right? Somebody out there's some for every one rapper that makes it, there's people dead, people locked up behind this shit. Like there's a lot going on, right? So the fact that they're on that stage, they got ops, bro. You know what I mean? They're there, they have ops. Or the people that got them there have ops, which means that they have ops. You know, when we was coming up, a lot of these guys was faking like gangsters. You know, Cube was faking like he was a gangster. Cube wouldn't work today, right? Like today, that guy is a gangster for real. Like he got bodies and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that's why so much more is going on, right? Like because they got access to more. You see what I'm saying? These labels is matching you dollar for dollar, man. Like it's not what it used to be, bro. There was an interview with Method Man on I think it was on what's the
I
name of
know
that?
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was on Math Hoffa's podcast, and he was like, I
Yep.
don't know where these kids getting all of this money from. Like because he was like, we was coming up, we was broke. You know what I mean? Because
I saw that. I saw that
he
one.
didn't
I
come
saw
from
that.
dope money. He didn't, you know what I mean? He got a record label deal, and they paid for him to go on promo tours and do different things like that. I'm sure he got his bags here and there, but you understand what I'm saying? These
Yeah.
guys have to come to the table with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry on, and shoes and cars, and it ain't nan song or album paid for that shit.
Yo,
You know,
Mark.
and
Yeah.
none of it, and it's not fake either. Like it's not fake jewelry and all that. No. All this shit is real, man. Before you get famous, when you in a club throwing money, that's your money. After you get famous, they give you the money to throw. But before that, that's your money, bro. You know, so
I want
that's
to piggyback on this because he said something,
He's telling the
and y'all
truth.
might have
It's the
seen it
facts.
too. Did you before he died? Did y'all see an interview with Young Dolph? And everything you said, he said.
I didn't
And
see the interview, nah.
there was an interview with Young Dolph after the one with Nori. He
Mm-hmm.
was talking about, it takes $250,000 for a record to be
Mm-hmm.
successful in the club and all this stuff. And to your point of making that record is like, yo, why do you have to go out here and risk your life? Because you're trying to make music, but you want to be in the streets. Because we was growing up, they were two separate things. You know, the you can talk about the streets in your music, but people knew to keep that separate. You know, you have real gangsters. Nowadays you don't have real gangsters. You have anybody who's scared that can pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Well, well, yeah, true that. Anybody could, man. But these kids, they have undiagnosed PTSD. I used to be in the studio with them every night, man, and I befriended some of them, and a lot of them have passed away now. You know, some murdered and some died other ways. And I would ask them, you know, man, you guys seem like really intelligent dudes, man. What's up? And they would tell me, man, look, you know what I'm saying? My mama was on drugs. Streets raised me, bro. Like I've been out here since I was 13, and music is like they all have a leader. Like I used to engineer for a lot of guys in the free band record label, which is Future's record label, and he was known as Big Bruh. So like everything was about trying to do something to get Big Bruh's attention. You know, like these are all guys. I watched guys become rappers right in front of me. Like I would like there would be a guy who would be paying for a rapper to go into the studio. Okay, like he would be paying for it. He would show up at the end of the session. This happened over and over again. He show up at the end of the session. Let me hear what y'all did. He do his thing. Oh man, that was tight. Then they start saying you should rap, such and such. You should rap. He's like, man, I don't rap, man. That's for y'all. Nah, we'll tell you what to say. You should rap. He get in the booth. They tell him what to say. He say it, and the next week he got the studio booked out the whole week because he got a direct tie to whoever. You know what I mean? So he do the music. They tell him what to say. They you know, this is all how I go. They piece the shit together. They go play it for Big Bruh. Big Bruh like it. They get a deal. He gonna match him dollar for dollar. You see what I'm saying? It costs $250,000 to put something out, right? I'm gonna wash that money through my label, and we're gonna put you out. Like so, on one hand, it's effed up. On the other hand, it's like he looking out, right? Like he getting his boy out of the streets. Like this is how it goes. It's like, come on. And so they bring in all that street shit with them, is what I'm trying to say. Like to answer your question, like they bring in all that stuff that we feel like they should be away from with them. It's still with them. You know, there is no line between like the corporate and the street thing anymore. Like it's all very real. You know, you know, they caught up in the social media thing. It's like, what good is having the money if I can't throw it in your face, if I can't take your girl, if I can't pull up in the latest this, if I can't, and then post it, right? Like so it all go together, man. And there are people mad behind you being in that position. They don't care that you love your city and that you give back and all this. Like, nah. That should be me. That's how they feel. And it don't take much to make them feel like you disrespected them. It take a very small thing. They could want a feature. You could say, okay, blow it off. Now y'all beefed out. Now you ops. You see what I'm saying? They just wanted a reason to come after you, dog. Like, and so that's a long answer to hopefully, you know what I'm saying, sort of clarify my opinion about what's happening out here, bro.
Wow. You got something out? Oh, your thing muted. You got to unmute your thing. Your thing is muted. I don't know how you did it. There you go.
It's still like that.
Still can't hear you.
That's the problem I was having. That's why I kept logging out.
Now he muted it again. You muted it again.
You got to log out and log back in.
Yeah, just log out, log back in.
Dang.
In the meantime, while he's saying that, I'm with you, Mark. Everything you just said is 100% how I feel, man.
Yeah. I was like, dang.
He just spelled it out right there, man. Everything I just was thinking, you just spelled it out. You know what I'm saying? You back out? No, you still can't hear.
You can't hear.
You still.
Yo, it ain't going to no earphones and nothing, is it? Dang. Okay, you ain't Bluetooth to nowhere else. Because I know sometimes, like,
I had the same problem for like 20 minutes.
That was what's going through with you. I can hear you. I can actually hear you though. We can't hear him at all.
Yeah, we couldn't see you. We could hear you though.
Yeah, we could hear you, but we couldn't see you.
For a minute, so for a while when I was going in and out, when the way T sound like that's where because I could hear myself, and then I couldn't see. I couldn't see.
I tried to unmute his mic right there, but it's saying his thing. Your mic's still muted.
Okay, now it's unmuted.
Yeah, it's unmuted, but nobody can hear you.
I can't hear him. Well, I can hear noises. It's like it's like he's talking.
These things crazy right here, boy. But yeah, I'm with him. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot. I think we just, you know what I'm saying? I think these young boys, man, they it's a lot of money being thrown out there. Cause I'm looking at the damn baby. That dude, the baby boy, he you know what I'm saying? He own one, but he, you know what I'm saying? He do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, where you get this money?
His shit right? Like it took him a second to level it all out. Like it was hard for him too. You know, it's listen, bro, like you can't afford armed security when you first get started. You got your niggas with you, man. Like,
that's the whole thing.
That's all you got. You wearing $1 million worth of jewelry. Who's protecting you? Who you got with you? You can't afford armed security yet.
No, it seems like everybody dope boys. It's like everybody's a dope boy.
Yes,
it's like, you know, you like, look, I put my little money into this stuff. I know y'all doing the same. I know you doing the same thing. You put your money into it, it's like it still don't match what these dudes putting in.
It's how fast it comes and the volume that it.
But it ain't just the dope money, because people like it's the dope money because like my niggas at the crib, yeah, some of them is dope money, but they dope money because like you were saying, Mark, you know the nigga who sell the dope, and they putting their money up, and you know at the end of the day, you know I want that return on my scratch.
Well, yeah, and they all want out. They don't want to stay in the dope game, and hip hop is like the number one thing to wash money through. Strip clubs, hip hop. Yeah, you know, this is where they wash their money. So,
but you know, but if you don't tighten up and do what they say, it's gonna be you and your mama.
I hear you now.
Yeah, you straight now.
So,
nah,
what
man.
you, go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead, finish.
Because it's like in anything, it's not just music; it's just life. You know, I don't care where you come from, what city you from. It's life. Neighborhoods is neighborhoods, and when a nigga makes it in whatever, you got ties. Unfortunately, we all come from somewhere where somebody doing something wrong, and you don't leave your mans. You know, you want to leave your mans, like you join the military, like, yo, man, I just don't do what you do. But when you go home, you know, the parties and everything, you having a good time chasing them shorties. Yeah, you ain't involved in it directly, but your mans is the one running the club. Your mans is the one getting them broads around. Your mans is the one doing that. So inevitably, you fall in the trap of your mans.
Yeah.
And you hope you don't get caught up, man. Even though you don't touch no dope, you don't touch none of that bullshit. You just like, yo, I need you to do this. It ain't got nothing to do. They know you're not touching that kind of stuff, but they want you to do certain things just to keep things moving. And it's the same way, you know, it's like moving music. It's sad.
Yeah. What you got?
I think I was listening to Chuck and listen to what Mark said. I think what they said, I think those factors definitely age to a lot of what you see now. A lot of young guys dying, rappers and everything. But I think ultimately it kind of goes back to what it was on the album. Mos Def said it was on the skit, and he was talking about hip hop. He said somebody asked me how hip hop is doing. He said, you know, if we all right, hip hop is going to be all right. And I think it goes to what we see right now with these guys. The bigger problem is really not the bigger problem is not Pop Smoke getting killed, Juice WRLD getting killed. These are smaller symptoms.
Juice WRLD pretty much committed suicide. You really want to know?
Whatever. Well, with the exception of that, I'm just talking about a lot of the guys that's getting murdered. You know what I mean? That's being murdered. I think it has a lot to do, and even with the one guy that committed suicide, I'm not really familiar with him, but I know a lot of young rappers are losing their lives. And I think it has a lot to do with the breakdown of family within our communities. I think it has a lot to do with us in society. At one point in time, at one point in time, it was cool to wear a HBC sweater in hip hop. At one point in time, it was. Why? Because that is what the society, that is what the culture, that is what our society was reflecting. Now, there's certain things that's being reflected now from the society. Hip hop, all as you see, this, you know what I mean? It's going on in it's going down in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? It's just like when we was coming up. You can have a common sense, but then you can have another type of rap on the other end. Why? Because these things was reflected in society. You know what I mean? There was just that it was a mirror. I always say this: hip hop is a mirror. It's a mirror of what's going on deeper within our communities, with our homes. You see these things going. It's just like some of the things what Chuck said. He touched down the breakdown of us in our homes, our family. You got a lot of guys our age that's not stepping up and being fathers to these kids. And you have guys that have stepped up that had baby moms that was on the other end. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of factors, but I agree wholeheartedly what Mark was saying as far as the engine and what happens is, you know what I mean, those things. And I also agree with what Chuck said as well too. I think that bigger in a nutshell, it's a society problem. It's not a hip hop problem. It's a society problem, man.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I'm gonna clarify on the whole thing with Juice WRLD. So he did not commit suicide on his way off the plane. He took, you know, because they had got the police pull up. I don't want to give it all away and watch the documentary, but the police, they got notified that the gang units in Chicago, they got notified, and the FBI, they was waiting for him on the tarmac. As they was getting them off the plane and get ready to check all their stuff, old dude decided he wanted to swallow all the Percocets. That's it. They did it. You know what I'm saying? I think that would do it to anybody. He had already been drinking codeine. Then he took a whole handful of Percocet, trying to hide them from the police. So I would say he damn near committed suicide.
You know what, Mark said a whole lot. And if nothing else is said about the podcast of us brothers getting together, the last moments that Mark said was very was critical, talking about the industry. And
I'm glad we caught that on tape. I'm glad we got that on tape.
That right there, and it don't just apply to hip hop. That just applies to society, especially within young black males in general. And I think, brother, you hit that on the head. Granted, you was talking about hip hop, but you hit that on the head as far as young black males in general, as rolling into that aspect of life. And T, you said something as well as about being fathers and OGs and big bros and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is very difficult. We our hearts tell us to do this and we do it, but if the structure is broken down, if you have only one or two guys that's willing to do it, and you got 60 or 70 little niggas that want to get out here and try to sell $10 worth of dope, well, what you got?
Yeah, Chuck, like a prime example, man. I don't know if y'all watch the rap battles. Y'all watch the current rap battles, not like the classic rap battles where they put on an instrumental and guys had to come off the top and rap and best their opponent. I'm talking about the rap battles that they do today. If you ever catch a rap battle, always know a generally common thing where I would say 90 of 95% of rappers, when they rap, it's all about how tough they are, how much drugs they got, how many bodies they got on them. It's always something. It's always over over sensationalize something within the criminal realm. It's not like how it used to be back in the day where when you was in a battle, you had to lyrically best the other person. But now it's mostly about how many guns they got, how much of a super thug they are. And majority of all the rap battles, I watch them and I'm like, damn, I'm like, this is indicative of our society. All these damn near, if there was 20 rappers, at least 16 of them is going that route. At least in the site. And it's like, why is all these guys um glorifying this element? All of them. Now we had it back in our day. We had it. We had guys doing that. So we had that, but we also had other guys doing that. And when you saw a rap battle, that wasn't the theme. It was, I'm just trying to come up with some words or some lyrics, some metaphors to just you. Now these guys actually spend months writing pre-rhymes, which I don't have no problem with that. But all of them are within the criminal element of some type of, you know what I mean,
So,
some kind of fashion, man.
so when you talk about that, and all of y'all said that if you listen to hip hop these days, there's no balance.
Nope.
They've gotten away from balance because you had Ice-T who was talking about colors and all
Yeah,
that
Public
stuff.
Enemy.
But yeah, there you go. But you had Public Enemy.
Yep.
So now, if you listen to a conscious rapper per se, he gets no burn, none.
None.
If you're not disrespecting women or killing niggas, you get no burn.
Well,
And granted, that is part of hip hop and cool, but damn, give me the balance.
but hip hop as a culture turned into a product, which
Yep.
is where this conversation.
Woo! Now hold on,
We
brother.
got we got to
You
be
preaching?
Taking it there, Adrian. You gonna take it there?
we got to be very careful, man, because we should come back to talk about this some more. But I would say that you have to be very careful as a protector of this culture, um, with how you handle the culture to the world, right? Like people have to know that this is a culture, right? And or are we talking about the product of the culture? Are we talking about the culture or the things from the culture that sell? Because if we're talking about those things, now we're talking about capitalism. And capitalism demands that it finds that it digs up into the golden goose and it grabs the egg and it only scales what works, right? And so what works is sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and violence. And like those are the things that sell. So capitalism, as a rule, dictates that it comes into our culture, it finds the things that it can sell the most, take them out of our culture and scale them and sell it. Right now, all of those things, the conscious stuff, all of that stuff still exists within our culture. And people that take in the culture from the inside still enjoy music of all types, right? But it's what's being sold to the masses, and why, like I said, a young kid would want to take that low approach in is because it's like, not to harp on him, but like when Soldier Boy took off, right? And I remember like Ice-T was like, hey, this is fun, but don't get it fucked up. Like, I don't know if y'all remember when he said that. He was like, this is cool, but yo, that shit's whack. Like, I'm just saying, right? And then the culture turned on Ice-T and said, you hating on them kids. You know what I mean? Why you hating on these kids getting money? Right? And then Ice-T backed off, right? But he was actually doing what he was supposed to do. He was like just reminding us that no, like there's a place for that shit, but you don't get it twisted. Like, this ain't what we about. And when that worked, that lowered the bar of entry, is what I'm trying to say. It lowered the bar of entry.
Yep.
So like, oh, so my aesthetic is more, oh, okay,
Yep.
cool. Right. So remember like growing up, in order to not like you was either like well, where I come from, you either knew how to fight, you could play sports real good, or like you could dress real good. or like
Same here.
nerd. It was like
That shit is everywhere, bro.
only
Same here.
people you could be, right? Like imagine being like of the artist pool of people and the cats that dress really well coming over to the artistic pool and taking over the artistic pool. Like imagine them coming all the way out of their element over here and dominating what you trying to do. And it's like, well, that's cool, but this is not what we all about. And the public saying, nah, fuck that. Give me more of that. Like that's what we want right there. And then capitalism, the record labels, investment, all of these things, it came in and it did what it does. Like, right? Like it did what it does. It says, oh, let us get that and we'll just scale that because that's what we do. We take products and we scale them and sell them to the masses. And so we just didn't, I guess we were so young, we didn't know how to guard it. Like we didn't know what to say where it wouldn't sound like we was hating or, I mean, because again, this is America.
Yeah.
If it makes money, it's good, right? Everything, you can say whatever you want to say. And at the end of it, if somebody says, but it made money, a certain number of people are going to say, well, then, you understand? Suge Knight thugged his way in the industry. You know this, right? Like,
yeah, knocking people out the way, pushing people down.
Like he took money from people that were successful and made them he extorted people and started one of the most successful hip hop. Like you get no Snoop Dogg
without him
if he didn't go do that shit. Like you understand what I'm saying? So
hey, I gotta jump in on this, man.
Hold on, Chuck, before you jump in, wait a minute. You know who the prime example of what you can see today or something? No, I'm not saying Thug was beating what you said about Suge Knight. 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Hold up now. When we came up in the neighborhoods we came up, the first thing I learned was you don't talk to the police. That's number one. You know, that's they bodily breaking in your house and they hurt your mom or something like that, then you got to tell the police. Other than that, you don't talk to the police. This dude done made talking to the police popular. And he made millions of money.
No, sir. I'm 50 years old. I don't talk to him.
Me neither. I still don't talk to the police.
No, sir. No.
It's just ingrained in my body.
No, I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
No, I don't fuck with him.
But that go to say what he was talking about, what Mark was just saying. I mean, there it is. It make money. They didn't overlook the fact that through all the years of hip hop, all the years of all the culture, whatever, do not talk to the police. Snitches get stitches. This cat decided, no, it's not. I'm telling the police, and you do too.
I'm gonna say some. I gotta say some things that Mark was on, and Mark was 1,000%. When you take black culture and capitalism, it's something that's engraved in that. And I ain't talking about just hip hop because we invented country music too. Mm-hmm. We invented rock and roll. We invented jazz music.
We did.
We invented a lot. But when you take something in the take it and put it into capitalism, that's a whole another thing when you talk about money. But when you break down the science of education, that's number one. I've got to talk on the number one thing we got to harp upon our communities is education. Mm-hmm. And I'm not necessarily talking about book smart, because by the time you're in the 8th grade, you're going to be as far as you're going to be. You'll know what you need to know aesthetically with books. You can read, write, put a comma here, apostrophe, understand the basics of education, arithmetic, unless you're in some, something very specific. If you take what they've taken from us and we don't control it, we will always be slaves. And people think I'm crazy when I say that. I'm like, we will always be slaves as long as we don't control what we control. It's not about race or any of that. You will always be a slave if you don't understand your culture, your product, and your property.
Yep.
Understand that. Because when they take your, and I'm going to go further than I need to go. When they take your land, what happens? You don't have no land. When they take your mind, you don't have no brain. You have to understand, as a people, as a product, that we have to educate our community. And this is why you see these young kids getting killed because they're not Mark, if you don't say nothing else, Mark, the last 20 minutes of what this young brother said was gold.
I
I
know. We
mean, I
recorded.
want,
We got it. He can't unsay it. We got we got
I mean, it's gold because you said everything that was so factual,
Yeah.
especially when you talk about the industry, when you said, hey man, these guys come in and drop money and they just want to make a record. You know,
And then somebody
why?
give them a song and say, hey, rap off this song, we can make you a rapper. And they make him into
Exactly.
rappers.
Yeah, I was selling dope
Exactly.
last week. This week I'm a rapper for sure. For sure. I watched it.
So when they selling dope, who using the dope?
Shit, a lot of times people around them.
And what do those people look like?
They look like us.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't
It's
gotta
a
say it no
culture,
more.
I mean, but bro, we live in America, man. The only religion here is capitalism, man. Like if you
That's
make
it.
money, like if you make money,
Don't make dollars, don't make sense.
yeah.
And
That's that concept is going to ruin every good idea that ever comes to the table, right? As soon
but
as you're able to scale it and sell it, it's over. It's through. It's over.
and the funny thing is that who is it gonna kill?
Typically, the people that it comes from, first and foremost.
And
Like,
who does it come from?
for sure.
Liquor stores and fried chicken. Hey, liquor stores and fried chicken.
Hey, look, man,
I think though,
we
with
have
that,
to go ahead.
I think that with that though, I think that's something missing with Chuck. You said one thing about community, but the thing is though, think about it though, fellas. You can't spell community without unity.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a big thing that we missing. I think that's a
Oh
big
yeah.
thing that we missing because guess what? Mark is right. We are in a capitalistic state. But I use this for example. When Young Buck came out with a CD, right? He had 12 songs about killing black folks, right? Doing whatever. But he tried to put out a song called Cop Killer. And guess what happened? They told him you can't put out that song.
Mm.
You can't do that. We stopping you. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I think that that's what one of the things that we within our culture we missing. We don't have that. Dog, every major city you go in, they have what? They have a Chinatown. Have you ever noticed that you don't really hear about major crimes within Chinatown in any major city within the United States of America? You just don't hear about it. It just don't. It's like what they do over there
It's
is like shush hush. You know what I mean? You don't do that. Even that one rapper, I can't remember his name, China Mac. China Mac kind of broke it down. What goes over there? He said look.
Yes.
He said look. He said when we do what we do and gang bang and all that, we don't do that in Chinatown. We do that in y'all areas. We don't do that in our areas. We miss that. We don't have that. And I think that along with everything you saying, because everything you guys said is valid, but I think it's also pointed to point that out that within our community, I say black community, I think that a lack of our unity have a lot to do with a lot of things that you seeing now with these rappers killing each other like that. It has a lot to do with it.
So let me jump in on this. When you talk about, and I wholeheartedly agree, I ain't gonna talk about race. It don't even matter white, black, China. When you talk about our community, the rap community, black community, who is breaking us down?
What's that?
Who is breaking us down?
Who
Why are
is
we being broke? Yeah, because someone is breaking us. Why are we being broken down to the lowest morsel to where we don't have that community? I mean, like I said, I grew up. Killeen, Texas is nothing. It's no New York, Miami, Chicago, D.C., Detroit. But you know, we had that old pastor in the neighborhood that kept things together. We had those old grannies that made, the chicken and rice or whatever that kept you together. We have been conditioned to turn on each other. Nigga step on my shoes. You know how it is. Nigga step on my shoes. I'ma slap this nigga.
Your condition has been conditioned.
Well, let me say
But
something.
you, it's funny you say that, but that's true.
Chuck, let me say something to that. That's right, but there's another side of the equation to that. 1955, right? 1955, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Birmingham, Alabama. Our ancestors showed us something in power. You know what they did? They said, you know what? We're not gonna get on the bus. The folks in our community, they said we're not gonna get on no buses. They did it for 385 days, right? They walked 10 miles to work there and back. And you know what finally happened? Through that unity, change was made. Now they did that under conditions that none of us have seen. Our parents have seen it, but we haven't seen it. They did that under those conditions. Now we don't have those things is bad. We don't have those conditions.
Nah.
I think that there's always as long as things are what it is, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something outside of us. But my thing is what I say, what is it that we can fix? Right? What is that we can fix? Because we have YouTube, we have social media, we have all these things where now you could pick up a phone and research the history on the things that's going on, along with ask your grandparents, your mom. We have to know. But what I'm saying is this: what are the things that we can change as a community? What can we change? You know what I mean? So
think
I
it
ask
starts
I
at, I
pose
think
that question for us as a whole, because
when
there's
we
a lot of things that we can change.
well we can take ownership over our, like, we're all wordsmiths, we're all word people, right? This is, you've heard me say a few times, as guardians of our culture, we have to teach people how to interact with our culture, and we can do that through words, right?
Right.
That's what I mean when people are talking to us about our culture, or if they're talking to us about the goods that are sold from our culture. like
Mhm.
like we get to, we've been around it for so long, we qualify to stop people and inject these narratives into the grand narrative, right? Like, it's okay for people to make money off of culture. We do it, like you talked about Asians, Chinese food and all that shit. That shit they sell from their culture, right?
Right.
Like, that's cool. We sell hip hop music, we sell hair
Yep.
products, we do all kind
Mhm.
of things like that. You understand what I'm saying? But
Yep.
they don't let you get their culture fucked up with this food they sell. You
Yes.
understand what I'm
No,
saying?
they don't.
Like, that's
Yeah.
not, and,
Facts.
and that's what
Facts,
that's what
brother.
I'm saying. Like, I think that we have to, without being you know, overly barbaric about it,
Mhm.
or assholish about it. Like, there are definitely ways we can create new narratives. This is why I talk about, like, even in the GOAT competition, I mean, conversation, it's like, okay, what are we talking about here? When we say things like underrated, what are we talking about here? Like, let's be
Mhm.
clear on what we're talking about. We're all intelligent enough. Like, we're of a certain age. We're men. Like, we're the backbone of this thing. Like, it's us. It really
Mhm.
is us. It's how we communicate this culture to our children. It's how we
Mhm. Yep.
like, we are the first culture. Yes, we are the first generation to be able to connect to the youngest generation the way we do, through music through music and technology, mostly video games. We connect to the kids more than any other older generation ever connected to any kid before. We have a direct line to the kids through music and through video games. I didn't do shit with my parents like that when I was growing up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was their music. They ain't know nothing about no damn video games. You know what I'm saying? But,
Yep.
No.
but
Nah,
today,
but you speaking truth.
if you want to interact with a kid, with a younger black person, all you gotta do is figure out what game they play and what they listening to, and you
Mhm.
instantly have a connection with them. You
Yep.
Yep.
understand
But
what I'm saying?
Mark, let me.
Instantly. So it is us. Like, it's absolutely us, the way we carry it. Because when they start to get our age, they're gonna carry it how they saw us carry it. These cats act like that because Puffy and Mace threw money at the camera. Don't get it fucked up. Like that's what they saw. You understand what I mean? They saw that. We knew it was what it was for, but to them that's the life. Like that's what this is, because that's what I want. You see what I'm saying? And
So Mark,
that's what they chased after. You know,
so Mark, I gotta ask you this, King, and I gotta ask you, brothers, this: like, why have we lost the balance in hip hop? Why can't we get that back? Because I remember growing up, like I said, I'm 49. Public Enemy was on the charts. Public Enemy was out there.
I say it all the time, Chuck. That's one of my biggest arguments. Like, why we can't? I don't have no problem with the baby. I had questions about the baby and the baby. I had no problem about none of them. I don't have no problem with Young Yachty, whoever Lil Yachty. I have no problem with them. But where's the Public Enemy?
Why can't we get the balance? Why have we lost the balance?
Because you are one of the few people who honestly support hip hop that is not popular. Like you are part of an extreme minority, bro. Like extreme minority. This is America. If you want something to go away, all you have to do is stop paying attention to it. It will atrophy on its own. You know, like shit ain't making money and no interest, it'll die off. You know, the reason why these things work is because people pay attention to them, right? So like the reverse is true too, right? So if you want to see the new Public Enemy is out there. It's out there. Like there's cats out there actively making the kind of music that we feel like would balance everything out. We have to support them. We got to go to their shows. We have to buy their merch. We have to stream their music. We have to share their music. Like we have to do that because that's how they get where they're trying to go, right? Like that. Like they're not shining. It's not balanced because we as a culture are not supporting them. We don't go to the shows. We don't check for the music. We don't.
We want everything free.
You know what
we gotta pay for it. We ain't getting it.
Well, and it don't matter how much it is, right? Any amount is too much. You know.
Hey, we did a song. T tell you about it. They thinking the same thing I'm thinking. We did a song. You know what I'm saying? U.S. United States. We did a song United States, and we were talking about police brutality. We sold it for 99 cents. Man, ain't nobody paying attention to 99 cents. I don't even think we sold. We didn't sell not one copy of that damn thing for now. We were looking at each other like it was just 99 cents.
First of all, much love to y'all for putting that together. But I don't want you to feel any kind of way about that. I'll tell you why. Because you guys are not record executives. You're like me. You have really no idea how to sell this shit. You know what I mean? Like you're doing the best you can, bro. You know what I mean?
Nobody understands
but what you got to work with, the right the right people with the right vision could have sold that record to the people that needed to hear it, right? With the right budget, they would have known how to push it and put it where it needed to go, cross promote it, so on and so forth, right? We don't know how to do that shit, man. Like we don't even come from the era of having to know how to do that shit, bro. Like we're now in an era where they telling you got to wear all these hats too. You got to wear all them too. You can't just be an artist. You got to figure out how to do all this other stuff too. And you say, well, damn, okay. You know, okay, bro.
Then you tell me you meet some of these dudes, some of your idols and people you looking at, and they lost too. I think you told me that.
Absolutely, because they come from the same era that they have no idea. Listen, if people knew why they were successful, they would reverse engineer it on a daily basis. You understand what I'm saying? You know, your favorite artists have not put on any other artists. Think about this, bro. Like, and the ones that have tried, most of them has failed. They don't know what they're doing as much as you don't know what you're doing. I have no fucking idea, bro.
Rick Ross put on all these cats. Where they at?
That's
why they don't went somewhere. Everybody
and he's one of the more successful ones as far as putting people on. I'm saying, I'm saying your favorite artists, the cream of the crop in your head, because we didn't get into this, and we'll get into this later.
We gotta get
about one of my criteria for GOAT. One of my criteria for GOAT is who did you put on? You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's me. And we get to that another time.
I agree. I'm with you. I agree. Hey.
Because after you've been in for a certain amount of time, that blessing got to get passed on.
It got to be passed on.
And if there ain't nobody in the business that can point to you and say you were the reason for anything except keeping yourself relevant, I don't know, bro. I think that
he ain't make $1 million yet, but here it is right here.
you said, "Where's the new P?"
Street music.
You said, "Where's the new PE?" Ask Chuck D what a new PE is. He ain't took the time to put them on. But that's just me. That's just me. So I'm saying.
Dropping jewels on him, man.
It's a collection. It's a collection of all of these things, man. I hate to go, man, because I love this conversation, man. But let's please try to get together once a month, man. And just
man, let's get out here
as a culture. Because you say, what can we do? This is what we can do. We can share and exchange ideas. We can take them back to our smaller communities that extend to the bigger communities. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is it, brothers. Like this is it.
I love it.
I love it. We definitely got to come back and do this again, man. I had one more, but we probably got no time for no one more. It's getting late.
I gotta go, man. I don't want to go.
I gotta go, man. I'm the same way, but hey, I'm gonna play this song. I gotta play this song on the way out because we finna shoot a video for it this weekend. So let me play this song.
I was trying to charge up my headphones, man. But I love this, man.
Let me play this song, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do it. My man, originally D-Focus, now I'm MRKSX. My man, you know what I'm saying? Mark is gonna shoot this video for us, man. We want to come full circle, man. So and we talking about public enemy, talking about what people talk about. Hey, me and my man been doing this, and this is what we do. So I want to play the song for y'all before we head out here tonight, man. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, this was great. I loved it. When I come back, y'all can throw your social media out, and then we piece it out, man. Because I'm getting late, so I got to get up. So I'm gonna save these questions for another time, man. I got some good ones. All right, here we go. This is me and my man R Solo off of my forthcoming album coming up here. Hopefully this next month. I'm almost finished mixing up as and matching the last couple things. But this is I'm a Pro featuring my man R Solo from your boy Conscious Rhyme.
Yeah, I don't think they ready for me this year. I've been telling you for a minute. But if you don't understand, though, I'm a pro. I got the world in my hand, and only God knows the plan. I keep my head to the wind and I walk like a man. It's my life, ain't no second chance. I keep the past in my rear view, but only time knows the truth, so they fear you. I'm a pro, and you know. Hello America, the home of my birth. Visualizing other dreams, but not convinced of my worth. This hell on earth will get you burnt, buried deep in the dirt. The kiss of death can only come when you flirt. No time to waste, so I just put in the work. I speak the truth till it hurts. You only God until the roles are reversed. You legendary, but the pigment is cursed. Put every moment of my life in the verse. A black eagle sitting high on the perch. I learned to lie in the church, so live to die in the church. Now I turn to learn to rebel from being a slave to the church. I heard the lies of Sunday school, that's when I started to search. They say heaven was paradise, and I just want to be first. In line to get the shine, that's how I'm blowing your mind. Stuck in the past and now you're racing with time. The climax was secondary to the tomb and the shrine. I'm a pro on the mic, but still a student to the verse and the rhyme. Yeah, I got the world in my hand, and only God knows the plan. I keep my head to the wind and I walk like a man. It's my life, ain't no second chance. I keep the past in my rear view, but only time knows the truth, so they fear you. I'm a pro, and you know. A black boy and all his opulence, a king amongst the pharaohs, a phoenix with his eye on the sparrow. Welcome to the mean streets and I'm robbing De Niro. Hope it's in my crosshairs and I'm aiming at narrow. A rebel flag in a fresh suit with a Coke Zero. Cause America is great with Negroes on Skid Row. A Q&9 hat smoking meth with an ounce of blow. A soldier to your country, then shit on the house flow. And the walls yelling democracy's about to fall. Cool hand Luke, middle finger like fuck them all. Tupac with a bandana, Scarface, Tony Montana. I've been the truth before Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. A wrecking ball, when it's time for war, give me a call. I'm battle ready, I rhyme sharp like a machete. I'm a hustler, your Minnesota fats and I'm fast Eddie. It's a celebration, pop the champagne, toss the confetti like I got the world in my hand, and only God knows the plan. I keep my head to the wind and I walk like a man. It's my life, ain't no second chance. I keep the past in my rear view, but only time knows the truth, so they fear it. I'm a pro, and you know,
to overcome a vection just meant for one. A people touched by the sun with roots far from undone. Black is the blackest asphalt, the tipping point caps off. My quest for love being denied, envision my black thoughts. A game of life in theory, fresh on the rise down. O'Reilly's facting on black matters, oh you wise now. Blue lives matter campaigning was a disguise now. Pics in a blanket, you bought it so you ill-advised now. Let me advise now. The Darwinism's on black so we can survive now. The fittest tribe now. They say I'm pro-black, but this is my profession. I'm with the all lives matter, but the black one has been in question for years. From the slave ships to the 3/5. Picture what skin looks like when it meets a bullwhip. Imagine a trial through the eyes of an Emmett Till. You meet that voters act to validate your voice is real. It's just a flag, but the heritage you say is real. Listen closely to my voice, there's a quaint chill. Your lack of empathy within gives me a faint feel. I'm about to pass out. That hateful spirit from within, I wouldn't lash out. I have a God seal. The fact my country claims the same gives me an eye feel. That's real.
I got the world in my hand, and only God knows the plan. I keep my head to the wind and I walk like a man. It's my life, ain't no second chance. I keep the past in my rear view, but only time knows the truth, so they fear you. I'm a pro, and you know.
Appreciate y'all, man. So about to hit 5,000 streams on that. You know what I'm saying? So we proud of that. About to hit 5,000. Never hit that much ever. So thanks for everybody's support out there. But on our way out, man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You want to start it out on MRK, give your social media, whatever, as we head out.
Oh man, I'm not on social media anymore.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be one of my questions. We had to come back to that.
yeah. No, I'm not involved.
Got the same situation.
Yeah, I'm not involved, man. But my music is available everywhere, man. Just type in MRKSX on anywhere you watch music or stream music, and you can find me. I appreciate you if you do that.
For sure, my man. Already, family. Yeah, he in the same boat. He just got back on social media, but it was gonna be good. Talk about it later, but it was gonna be good. But go ahead, what you got?
Same situation as Mark. Just go on there, hit up Purgatory, hit up Solo on YouTube, and you see where it's at. You know what I mean?
What you got?
Hey man, support all y'all, man. We all family, 100.
All right. So that's that, man. Man, I appreciate y'all. Everybody get a good night's sleep. I got to get up early too. So it was excellent chopping up with y'all, brothers. Hey man, salute. We out. All right.
For sure.
Peace out.
100.